My name is Jessica Chadwick. I graduated the Manna Home New Life program for women last July 14. I am very grateful for the mission. Through the grace and power of Jesus Christ, they helped save and change my life. When I first came to the mission, I was fleeing domestic violence, I was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and I was homeless. Oh, I'm nervous. 1 second, I lost my place. I was accepted into the Rose Women and Children's Shelter when I had nowhere else to turn. While I was in the shelter, I was so scared and broken. I thought my life was over. I want to read you my Manna Home application essay from September 7th, 2013. On that day, I had been sober 9 days, and this is what I wrote. To whom it may concern, my name is Jessica Chadwick. I am currently living at the Rose Christian Shelter. I just left a very violent relationship filled with physical abuse, drugs, and drinking. I am a Christian from Sonoma County, and I am seeking a Christian faith-based long-term recovery program. I am ready to turn my will and life to Jesus Christ. I am tired and hurt from all of the relationship and substance abuse issues affecting me negatively. I would appreciate an opportunity to help save my life. Thank you, and I sign my name. This is my testimony of God's grace in my life. My walk with the Lord started before I had been educated about Him. He has always walked with me and carried me through situations that I would have not survived without His grace. As a child, I questioned why my mom never took us to church like other families that I knew. The most amazing thing to me is the realization now that God had placed it within me all along with the Holy Spirit. It would take me the next 24 years to realize this truth, to be able to appreciate the good news of Jesus Christ. When I was 14 years old, I started drinking and doing drugs. At that moment, I felt myself turn away from the Lord. Although I felt this way, I know that God's grace never left my side, never gave up on me, and waited patiently with open arms until I returned to Him. It's as if He always knew that it was not a matter of if, but when I would return. My life became really unhealthy and dark when I started using drugs. I had so much pain and shame from being abused by my stepfather when I was a child. I felt I had found an escape in numbing all of my emotions. I was trying to fill that God-sized hole in me with alcohol and drugs. I did not realize at that period of my life that His grace is sufficient. This numbing of all my pain with substance abuse became an unhealthy pattern that I developed for dealing with all of my problems for the next 22 years. I lived in misery until I came to Manna Home on September 12, 2013. That is my sobriety birthday, which was chosen by God for me. He did for me what I could not do for myself. When I had arrived at the Rose Shelter and Manna Home, I was essentially spiritually dead. I had just escaped an extremely toxic, abusive relationship where I suffered serious traumas. I was almost murdered. That was the darkest period of my life, and I felt hopeless and alone. However, God never left my side, and His grace carried me out of that evil despair. It is a miracle that I am alive. Before I came to Manna Home, I was homeless, staying at RGM Rose Women and Children's Shelter. It seems like just yesterday that I was crying to Becky Hayes during an interview to see if I would be accepted into the program there. I will always be grateful to God and to Becky for saving my life once more, this time from a slow drug-induced suicide. After arriving at Manna Home, everyone was talking about Warren Hayes, Becky's husband, baptizing them. I was interested because I felt in my heart that the time had come to commit my life to the Lord. I was baptized on September 28, 2013. I am so grateful that God's grace blessed me with a second chance at life. Because of this, I know there is a purpose for me to be an instrument to help others. I know that I am called to help the homeless and other survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. Today, I trust the Lord to show me how He is going to use me. Currently, I am being led to work on strengthening my relationship with Him. to learn to forgive myself and others, to focus on my recovery program, and to allow him to heal me from the traumas that I endured. Today I know that I am not a victim, but a survivor, and that God turns all things to good to those that love him. Today, I know the importance of prioritizing God, my recovery, and my family. I am so grateful that God led me to Manna Home to save and change my life, to use it for good. Becky once told me that Manna Home is a spiritual hospital, and how true that is for me. I have been allowed to heal in ways that I never dreamed possible. I have had the opportunity at Manna Home to reestablish my relationship with the Lord, to regain my self-worth and self-respect. When I graduated the program, I worked at the RGM Redwood Gospel Mission thrift store for 6 months. I am now working as a dental assistant, and I am 2 steps away from regaining my registered dental assistant license. I have regained my driver's license. My 18-year-old daughter is coming to visit me from Seattle next week. This is the first time that we have seen each other in 5 years. I am now able to volunteer for Manna Home and the Rose Shelter, where I was once homeless, and give back to our community. I am currently living in the Redwood Gospel Mission's transitional housing program for graduates and participating in my life as a productive member of society. I am so proud of the progress I have made, but ultimately all glory is God's. For he is the one that saved my life, and his grace allowed me a second chance to serve him. I am so grateful for his grace. His grace is sufficient.